We don't call it Muslim algebra. We don't call it Christian chemistry. The things that were true, the chemistry, works here in the United States. Christians can do chemistry. Muslims can do chemistry. Muslims can do Christian chemistry. The same way. Buddhists can do chemistry. The things that are true everywhere. And these things that and he's going to probably get into love and things of that nature. Things that are transcendent, the Buddhists experience love, the Muslims experience love, the Christians experience. I can experience transcendent moments. I can feel as though I'm a part of everything. I can feel the energy. I can feel this glorious greatness and not have to presuppose anything on insufficient evidence. That's all I have to say. There are no reasons to believe.
Bro.
All right, good point. Going back to what you were saying, though, about living out your faith. You can believe in something. Somebody can believe in a God, but, just going back from this for my advice, I have kids in my youth group who say they believe in God, but because they don't live out their life, their belief is very short. So when stuff comes up, stuff hits the fan, their faith is out the wall. You build your faith. It's got to start someplace. And I'm not saying that you get your faith by laying out. You strengthen your faith by living out the works. You have to have the faith there before you can. But you have to, I guess, what Christians refer to it as, believe in a God and believe that He died for your sins. And you have to accept that first in your heart with that, and you strengthen that faith by living out your life. If that makes sense. You get confused.
Tanner, is there any reason to believe it in the first place?
I believe everybody is. Is there a reason? Well, if you're looking from a biblical sense, I believe the reason is it comes down to, yes, we have to understand that if we die, coming from a Christian sense, though, that, hey, if we don't believe this, we're going to go to hell. If we do believe this, we're going to go to heaven. But it's a lot more than that. It's realizing that there is something missing out of our life. Everybody is always searching for something. That's why you have people who will crush other people and take it to abnormal levels in sports. People who take the economic situation that we're in right now. People who will literally fire and throw thousands of people to the dogs and throw them underneath a train so they can get a bonus. They're led by greed. If from a biblical standpoint, the standards that God sets for us to live as Christians, as we are living them out, if we were to abide by them, then we wouldn't have to deal with stuff like people suffering all over the world, people suffering right here in the United States. Now, I know you brought up the idea of going up to I lost the word.
It's a non sequitur.
No, not non sequitur. Intelligent design. You were talking about intelligent design. You are right. Everything, when you start getting down to the vastness of the universe, or when you start getting down to the tiniest atom, or like breaking it down, yes, it does. It gets more and more complex. So yes, you would have to have a God that is more complex. But then that goes back to saying that there has to be an ending point. There has to be something that...
I'm sorry, but why at the ending point do you just say, I don't know? I don't know before what happened before the Big Bang. I don't assert anything beyond that.
Well, see, that's what goes back to the idea of you have to have the faith in a God that, hey, He knows me down to the tiniest hair on my head. He knows me down to the smallest detail, down to the smallest molecule, down to the smallest whatever you want to talk about.
But what is the reason why?
You don't need a reason why. Why do you have to have a reason why?
Because that's how you convince people. And that's how you read. In fact, you don't even have to convince me. If the reason was there, you don't even have to convince me. I believe you.
Okay, but if you want to look down to it from a big aspect, if you were to move the Earth, there's 9 planets in our solar system. If you were to move our planet Earth 1 foot forward towards the sun, everything would change.
And things would be different.
If you were to move it 1 foot away from the Earth, everything would change and everything would be different.
That is a
if you were to tilt the Earth, the Earth tilts on its axis. If you were to tilt it 1 foot in either direction off that axis, life would cease to exist on Earth. The complexity of who we are, to say that we evolved from something, to say that we came from some primordial ooze, two atoms collided and created the entire Earth. Do you really think that what is the chance of that?
That's conflating two ideas. You're conflating abiogenesis, which is the development of human life, and then you're conflating with the Big Bang theory and also with evolution. There's three different theories.
Well, but they all tie together.
I hear you. They all tie together, but two different conflations. You're conflating all three in the scientific field, so I don't think you understand. Anyway, I'm sorry. To say that the probability, if something was different, it would be different. It's a tautology. He's saying a fact, but it changes nothing. If the Earth were closer, then it would be closer, and things would be different. I have a deck of cards. Who plays bridge? All right, you deal me out 13 cards. If I remember correctly, the chances of me being dealt 4 aces, 4 queens, 4 jacks, and a 10 is like 1 in 100 billion of getting those cards. Now, if you shuffle the cards back up and deal me again, random cards, and they don't mean anything in the game, still the chances are 1 in 100 billion. The chances of it be different, but the hand that I'm dealt is the hand that I'm dealt. The probability of the fact that it occurs changes nothing. The fact that if the Earth was a little closer, then things would be different. We might not exist, but we do exist. Earth is where it is. There might be life in a different place. It doesn't mean we'd be there. We are here because we are here. The hand was dealt.
You're absolutely right. But
Thank you.
You know, you are right. You know, it is the hand that is dealt. But what the chances of dealing a deck of cards and the chances of how many thousands of things are there on Earth that have to do with this? That okay, take them as little knobs. What are the chances that every single one of these little things that had to happen, all miraculously just happened by chance? There has to be something that goes in there along the lines of there has to be a creator of some sort. Whether you're referring to Christianity, if you want to look at the Greek gods creating the world, whatever it is, but there has to be some sort of design behind that or architect behind that.
So everybody, you see what we're doing here, right? We've got the debate between intelligent design, everything happening for a reason, a design needing a designer, right? And the concept of chance, which is the concept that plays such a major role, specifically in the theory of evolution, but also has a role to play in the theories about the origin of the entire universe, right? How many people in here believe that everything happens for a reason? People who believe that everything happens for a reason, like me, are uncomfortable with the idea of chance. But what I have to say as a philosopher is my discomfort doesn't make it not true, right? The fact that I'm not comfortable doesn't make it not true. What I want to do at this point is to open it up to you. Is anybody brave enough to wade into this and talk to our guys and let them, much bravery here, much bravery. John, would you be willing to, Daniel's going to be the mic carrier. Thank you.
Might have to step up there.
Give people your name and then tell us give people your name and then tell us what you want to tell us.
My name is John O'Connor. My question pertains to a little bit of history. Einstein actually had a nervous breakdown toward the end of his life because he came using knowledge. He actually came to this concept that, he got so far and he had a belief in God. And after a while, he just came down to, his theory said, God has to be throwing dice for these random probabilities to happen. But he was so strong in his belief that he didn't want to believe that God wasn't omnipotent and didn't have to throw these dice, that he could just say, it's going to happen. So my question pertains to both of you. What is y'all's feeling about religion hindering the pursuit of knowledge?
Well, religion does hinder the pursuit of knowledge. It hinders it on every angle and everywhere. But as far as your statement that Einstein believed in God, it's a misconstrual that I hear all the time that Einstein believed in God. His God was God of the gaps. He was speaking as though the universe, he was using it as a metaphor. He wasn't saying there literally is a personal entity in space watching me over and everything I do. He thought the universe itself, he was using it as a metaphor.